First of all, a very big welcome to the Melbourne Stars. How does it feel to sign and move about 1,000 kilometres south this summer?
Yeah, thank you. Mate, I'm super excited. It's what did I spent a fair few years at the Sixers, so arch rivals, I guess. But two of the bigger franchises, and if there was one other team that I ever wanted to be a part of, would have definitely been the Stars. So had some great battles over the years. And yeah, really looking forward to getting out to Aussie in a few months and playing at the MCG, what will be a great honour to call my home ground.
Is that one of the biggest attractions of moving to the Stars, the fact that you can play at the MCG in front of hopefully a derby crowd of over 50, 60,000?
Yeah, I guess it's definitely one of them. I wouldn't say it's the be all and end all. I guess you got to hit it a bit further as well to clear the ropes. But I guess on the other side, it helps a bit with the ball. So look, I feel like Sydney and Melbourne are the I guess as a foreigner the biggest cities or the most well known cities. And just the players that have played for the Stars, I guess, when I grew up watching the Big Bash, some of those games that watching on TV, some of the players they had, I guess it was just always another team that I guess, yeah, I grew up idolizing, I suppose, and having played for the Sixers for so many years, whenever coming up against the Stars, it almost had that extra sort of emphasis on this. I don't know if that also for the fact that Shippy was there as well. So it was always a big rivalry game, and yeah, one that we always sort of looked forward to on the calendar.
So this is the first time we've had this sort of pre-selection where you can select a player outside the draft. How did you sort of first get wind of the Stars' interest? Does it come via your manager? Does Morsey send you a text? Does it come from the club? Where does that all start?
Yeah, so it came through my manager, through my agent, and I guess it was, yeah, when I heard that, obviously I think it's sort of, I mean, I guess I did my own sort of research. I had a decent idea of obviously which players were a part of the team, having played a fair bit against the Stars over the years. I was at the IPL with Maxi at the time as well. And I obviously knew Peter Moores was the coach who I've never worked with, but who I've heard great things about. So I think, yeah, after the sort of initial chats, it didn't take too long for me to decide. To be honest, it was an opportunity that came up, and one I'm really looking forward to.
We all got to know Peter Moores pretty well last year, and you said you hadn't worked with him. What do you know of him, or what do players say about him as a coach?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, I feel like as a player or as a coach these days, if you a good or a bad bloke, the word gets around pretty quickly. So I know he's obviously at Knots as well, who I've got some good friends with there. So I just generally had known over the years that people have spoken very highly of him. So when the opportunity came up, it was one that I like I said was really looking forward to, and I'm really looking forward to. I just hear he's a great guy. I mean, as obviously his cricket credentials and his record as a coach sort of speak for itself, but just in terms of what I've heard of him as a person, the way he manages the group, and the environment that he's created is one that I'm looking forward to being a part of.
What do you want to bring to the team? Obviously, you've got a couple of skill sets. What do you see your role as at the Stars for the upcoming BBL season?
Yeah, well, I mean, first and foremost, especially early on, you want to come in as an overseas player and have an impact and help win games. I feel like that's the sort of the most important one realistically, and along the way obviously have some good memories. Like I said, I know a fair few of the guys, so in terms of making those connections or joining the group, I'd like to think it'll be um reasonably easy, but at the same time, coming there and putting in the performances, whether I'm batting, six in the seven in the middle order and whatever the role I'm needed with the ball. I feel like my role is pretty clear. I've done it for a fair few years now, so I guess it's about just yeah, using that experience that I've got of playing in Australia and coming out and help win games for the Melbourne Stars.
I was cutting your highlights reel the other day, and there was plenty of wickets to get through. You obviously enjoy Australian conditions. Is that something that makes the move a bit easier too? The fact that you know what to expect from obviously the conditions on the pitch, but then obviously the travel, and it's not it's not something. I think a lot of overseas players, sometimes when they come to Australia, the travel can be quite daunting because there is so far between capital cities. Is that a sense of comfortability for you, having played here for a while?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess the cricket's one thing, but just in general, the way of life in Australia, I've got great memories. I guess I've spent a fair bit of time around most of Australia, but most of my time was in Sydney, and that was obviously a little bit different to Melbourne in the sense of, I feel like Sydney is more the beaches, but I've heard so much about Melbourne, and I guess I mean, I live in London, so it's almost the London of Australia, and the coffee culture. The food culture. I've heard so much about it, and I just haven't spent too much time and there. So I guess that's an easy one. I guess is the way of life, and um, yeah, the cricket's one thing, and I've had some great memories there playing cricket. But I think just like I said, the food, the people, and just the general lifestyle in Australia, I feel like it's a good one for me, and one I've enjoyed, and one that when spending 2 months away from home or whatever it is with sustained period, especially over that Christmas period, if there's anywhere I want to do it other than at home with the family, I'll definitely say Australia is right up there.
Last one to finish up. Who are you most looking forward to playing with? And have you been able to play? I'm not sure if you've played too much with many of the stars, but who do you know in the squad?
Yeah, so I mean, I played against a fair few of the guys, so I mean, it'll be a joy not having to bowl at Maxwell and Stoinis. That'll be a definite plus. And then, yeah, look, I mean, it's generally has always got a very strong side. So I just played against Bo Webster the other day, who played for Gloucester, and it's obviously a real stacked squad. So yeah, really looking forward to getting out there. But I think if there were two players that I would say I'm most looking forward to playing with, for the main reason that I don't have to bowl to them, and it'll be Stoinis and Maxwell.
Beautiful. Thanks, Tom. Cheers.